Good morning. It is me, Pearl, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And I'm here to take a look at the energetic balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine aspects of self. Understanding that whatever state we see this energy in, we can expect to see reflected back to us in the outside world. So we might associate these messages with some specific person in our life, but what we're really looking at is our own energy. And the specific person we're thinking about is just mirroring back to us what it is that we need to go in and kind of dig out and work on inside of ourselves. So that's the goal of coming here every day and kind of getting a sense of like, how do I need to balance this energy so that I can do XYZ, manifest a relationship if that's what you're here for, or a career change, or figuring out your passion or becoming more authentic. This is what we take a look at when we do this every day. And the energy is like surging through me right now for some reason. Okay. Full moon, Mercury in retrograde, prepared for anything to happen. Crazy. I didn't brush my hair. You're welcome. Let's dig in. So, already I'm going to tell you right out the gate this reading is nuts from what I saw and from what I'm seeing, in terms of union and stuff, and in terms of the presence of some cards that have not left the reading for a long time. So we're going to start with Divine Masculine because all of his cards were showing, except for one, and Divine Feminine had the same, except that she was overthinking. So she had 3 cards not showing. Therefore, Divine Masculine, you get to go first, sir. All right. So the top of the deck for you is the moon in reverse, because you've gone through this full moon release. So your song today was a little bit salty. When I shuffled the cards for the 2 aspects of self, divine masculine aspect of self was all caught up in his fears about divine feminine saying she loves him when she really doesn't, or that she'll just have a wandering eye or leave him. It was There You Go by Johnny Cash, who's one of my favorites. So he was feeling, I was really processing this as the fears that he's going through, because as he has built his worthiness and filled his cup, which we saw yesterday in the reading, he has begun to relinquish this fear that divine feminine is going to leave him because he's not good enough. But he's understanding that, like, just getting there to this point where they're together in this reunion, it's not going to make those fears go away. And the inner wounds he's experienced in the past, abandonment issues he's experienced in the past, etc., those things are still, going to be something that he has to work on in order to really be able to feel secure. And this is something that the divine feminine and the divine masculine have been processing. Definitely true for me. And the moon in reverse is about releasing those fears and anxiety with that full moon release energy. Okay, cool. It's about revealing what has been hidden. It's about going into that subconscious, digging out those limiting beliefs, figuring out where those wounds are so that you can heal them, bringing them into the light, bringing illumination to them. It's about fantasies and the dream space, coming out of this fantasy, coming out of this dream space. Both of these aspects of self have done a lot of visualizing about what this is going to be like and how they're going to act and what they're going to say and what they're going to do. And as we've been processing over the last week or so and really understanding that that is coming from a place where those lessons that have been learned come from media, fantastic reproductions of human interactions that are just incredibly simplistic, vague, and have a lot of times pretty toxic messages in them. And then the people around us also reflect that back to us. So there's all this stuff embedded in our subconscious. And then all this stuff we have used to build these dreams. And the tower moments that we've been experiencing in the last few weeks have really been about waking up, coming out of the darkness into the light and being like, oh, I've been totally and completely wrong about what I thought should happen. And because of that, I was emotionally reactive and I kept pushing what it was that I wanted away from me. And I can see I was doing that to protect myself because I had a lot of fears and anxieties about whether or not I could accomplish something that's impossible, because what I was trying to accomplish was just a fantasy that a bunch of people have made up over time that has no real basis in my authenticity. Good morning, right? I'm awake to this strange, mysterious, here I am, right? That's how divine masculine is thinking. That's the forefront of his mind. He's ready to reveal these hidden truths to himself, to the divine feminine, because he's really wanting to end this separation. The Ten of Swords in reverse as the niggling thing in the back of his mind. The understanding that he must reveal what is hidden in order to end separation. The imminence of this. And then outside of all of the interpretations of the moon card from the tarot that you can have, we also just have the moon card itself, which for this particular divine couple is such, it's such a profound and consistently appearing image. The 5D connection, the mystery, all of that, right? So he wants to end the separation. Enough is enough, right? The first card up in his headspace, the first thing on his mind, Four of Cups. It's upright because we're in a pause and he's in a pause. And like I said, dream space, fantasy, meditation, and reflection. But when I'm seeing this right now, I'm feeling grounding, right? Grounding down to the earth from the dream space. Because the moon card, the overall, the forefront of the mind is to release the energy of the fantasy and the dream space, to release the associations that come with that. So he's wanting to leave the energy of being in this pause, of being meditative and reflective and contemplative and just trying to kind of create this idea of what it is that he wants. He's really ready to release it. So this is a card of grounding now, like having been in or currently being in a very beautiful natural setting, or somehow really being appreciative of the present moment and being here right now and getting to experience whatever he's getting to experience. He's feeling just, he's just like, like, do you, like the, I have like the image of this. There's so many ways to take this body language, but this is kind of just like this, like, like it's here, like it's all possible kind of a thing. I can see it all. I can see it all. And it looks like reunion because the Six of Cups is upright today. So he was working on releasing the fears that he has of the past and etc. And now we have him in a place where he's actually fondly remembering the past and using the whole construct of the past to really make him very excited about what is to come, because he's coming out of this place where it's only been this reflection and this nostalgia that he's been living in, and actually getting to have the physical union that he's after. And he's really ready to be very generous, very benevolent, really, really share what is in that Ace of Cups we saw yesterday in his energy. And we've got the Six of Swords in reverse. So we have this card is about building a bridge through pain or strife or struggle. And that takes you from the place where you've been to the place where you want to be. Traditional imagery has the boat with the six swords, and there's a divine masculine energy who is ferrying a divine feminine and an inner child away. That's like the typical imagery. And you don't know where you're going. So divine masculine is trying to release his fear of the unknown. He's really trying to trust that, the fears that he has right now, where he's like in that song. Let me go back to it. Divine Feminine, also, her song was Reckoner by Radiohead. So the Johnny Cash song is, you're going to break another heart, you're going to tell another lie. Well, here I am, and there you go, you're gone again. I know you're going to be the way you've always been. Breaking hearts and telling lies is all you know. Another guy gives you the eye, and there you go again. I should have gone, I could win. There you go, you're by his side. You're going to break another heart, you're going to tell another lie. Because I love you so, I take much more. He actually says, I take much more than I should take. Yes. I want you even though I know my heart is going to break. You build me up, and for a while I'm all aglow. Then your fickle heart sees someone else, and there you go, you're gone again. Okay? So this is divine masculine's fear, like what has happened in the past. And of course, he's reacting to divine feminine's fears, because what happens to divine feminine is she feels like she doesn't trust that divine masculine really loves her, or really wants the thing that she wants. If this is like if we're looking at this as trying to manifest like an object or a career or something. So there's part of herself that doesn't trust another part of herself, that she's really committed to it, that she really, really wants this. Like in my music career, right? My divine feminine doesn't trust that the divine masculine part of myself really, really wants this kind of success, the commitment to the success that the divine feminine is like ready for. And the divine masculine is afraid that the divine feminine part of myself is going to be passionate and excited and really wanting to do this, and then get distracted by something else and fuck off from this main focus that is really important. And so divine masculine is afraid to allow divine feminine to commit to that energy, because that energy might let that other part of the self down, right? That's how we're trying to look at this energy when we're trying to reflect back upon ourselves. And then, of course, when we're looking at our relationships, we're like, whoa, that's even happening in my relationships. Yeah, because your energy is, you're afraid of this commitment, because you're afraid the other person is going to lie to you about how much they love you. And it's like, like this cycle. So divine masculine has fears about whether or not he's really learned his lessons. Like he's afraid, am I just going to go all in right now? And she's going to be all excited, and we're going to get all of, and then she's going to get fucking terrified and fuck off again, maybe with someone else even. Cause like, I can't handle that. And I don't really want that to happen again. So he is fighting off these fears. Here's the 7 of Wands. We have him standing his ground and fighting off against that 6 of Swords fear. That's like, maybe we won't have learned from our past, right? 6 of Cups. Maybe we will not have learned. As I'm thinking about it, as I'm contemplating, it's possible that we might not have learned from our past, and we could get this wrong again. He's fighting off those actions against the self that would potentially compromise the situation. And he's fighting off the desire and the urge to stay in this place of reflection upon the past and the future, because of his fear that he's not going to be able to really get it right this time. That's what he's really fighting in his headspace. And he's being very honest and truthful with himself. And yes, this is the Ace of Swords, which freaking came out in my reading this morning that I did like in bed, when I've been doing like when I wake up, one of those like stupid filters. They're so stupid. I love looking at myself like trying to read it without my glasses. So cute. But anyway, it came up this morning in that reading. And it's like this truth one tells the self, this clarity one has for the self, but it's also, in this case, clarifying this reunion. So divine masculine is being honest with himself about what he wants. He wants to come into sacred union with divine feminine, be generous with her. There's also the Six of Cups and the Six of Swords. So there's this emphasis on reciprocity, and he wants to progress from the 6 to the 7, make a progression to actually finally stop fighting against himself in this energy of inertia and swiftly bring in truth and clarity directly to divine feminine. And then we've got the Four of Wands back again today, but it's in divine masculine's headspace where we didn't see it yesterday, I believe. And it's clarifying the Six of Swords in reverse. So this is where that destabilization feeling is coming from, his fear. He's afraid that as he brings in this truth, as he looks at the patterns that he's had with divine feminine and the way that he acts, he's afraid that it has destabilized this foundation between them. And of course, we've got those 2 wands for the 11-11, kind of twin flame sort of energy from the guard. He's got fears about this. But if we do this, we're okay. So he's wanting to shift into his headspace where he's believing that they have learned their lessons, that they bring with them this clarity and understanding of the inner wounds they've experienced and how that's allowed them to come into a place where they can receive love so that they can build this foundation or have this foundation in their relationship for this sacred union and be able to finally celebrate this together. And there's also just a fear he has that he might not be capable of doing this. He's still afraid, but he's got that sword and he's fighting off the fears in his headspace because that moon is in reverse. Let's look at his heart. All right, top of the deck, overall forefront of the heart, I guess center of the heart, however you would want to say this, is the world. It's the world. It's the end of a cycle. It's the completion of a cycle. And it's clarifying the position of the moon in reverse. So as divine masculine reveals these truths about the past and its effect on him and the fears it caused him to have about moving forward and being committed to the divine feminine, because he felt he wasn't going to be able necessarily to be what she needed and that she would lose interest and find something else shinier to become interested and no longer actually do this thing. Those are the fears that are being released, and this is the completion of the cycle. As divine masculine releases these fears, he is able to move into a place where he can finally blend those worlds together. In this world card, we see all of this swirling and blending together. And in the center, there's this eye. There's this one all-seeing consciousness. The niggling thing and his heart, the niggling feeling is the 10 of Pentacles in its reverse. And it's just so interesting that the niggling feeling in the head space is the 10 of Swords in reverse, because releasing the attachment to this physical manifestation that came from all of these fantasies he created in his 4 of Cups and 6 of Cups energy, releasing this attachment, this has been a painful process, very, very painful. And that's why it's in the back of his mind and lingering there. The effects of this release of the attachment to these ideas and misconceptions and illusions that constituted his happiness. It's been very painful. It has been the reason for the separation. And as the separation is ending, and we have 10, and we have 10, and we have the world. And the world card is 10 and a 10 and a 1 coming into that new beginning, starting a new decade, right? A new decade is happening. He feels this is now attainable because he can end the separation, but it was only attainable because of the pain he endured from releasing his attachment to the ideas of what ending the separation would look like and mean for him, because he is understanding his responsibility in healing himself and caring for himself and nurturing himself. And so he just has a new understanding now of what it means to be in union with divine feminine. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. He's really working on it, releasing that attachment to that career and that job and that material manifestation, grounding himself, using those spiritual lessons that have been learned in that meditation energy, grounding himself. But we're seeing what it is that he was fantasizing about, his ability to be able to just bring this to divine feminine, this abundance beyond her wildest imaginings, because they were beyond his wildest imaginings, and then keeping himself from doing it because he was afraid to be in union with her, and believing that the reason he couldn't be in union with her is because he didn't have enough, but then realizing that he was actually preventing himself from having enough so that he didn't have to be with the divine feminine yet, because he was fucking terrified, because he hadn't healed his inner wounds about whether or not she was going to abandon him. So, releasing the attachment to the material in meditation. And then Jesus Christ, the Four of Wands, upright, clarifying the Six of Cups, because sacred union. This is the card of coming back together. This is the card of having the ability to feel the significance of the contrasting experiences that constituted your life. Understanding that, if that shitty thing didn't happen to me, then this amazing thing wouldn't have happened to me. If I'm ever in doubt, I just think about like my child, who is amazing and came from an experience that wasn't, but he is. So it was worth it, right? That kind of perspective of like, wow, really not great situation, amazing outcome. And understanding how that is what life is about. This feeling and desire to be generous, this is what allows for sacred union, because it's an understanding that, just like in yesterday's reading, with this, there is that, and that's okay. Oh, man, Three of Pentacles in reverse, 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, divine masculine, really working on that release of the material, grounding instead through that Four of Cups energy, which is a different type of grounding. That's being present in the moment. This Three of Pentacles in reverse is what's clarifying the Six of Swords position in reverse. And so there's this sense of not working together, and wanting to leave behind this resistance that he has had to working with the divine feminine. He's been scared to share the power with her. Mm-hmm. Mostly because he feels powerless to her. He doesn't know if he can stand his ground with her, or if she'll just run right over him, which is what's happened in the past with others. He wants to stop being afraid of this and work with her and have the sense that they have learned from the lessons that they've experienced, and that there won't be this fear of the unknown that's holding them back anymore, so they can finally make that motion towards this 3D manifestation that they long to have. And I can't make it up, because here's the Hierophant. And it's upright, sacred union, higher lessons, higher education, higher level relationships, rigid belief systems, authority, tradition, clarifying what divine masculine is fighting against. Divine masculine is fighting off his ideas in regards to commitment, to perhaps past commitments that have brought him some obstacles that he's had to use to facilitate the time he's needed for healing, because that's that perspective, right? In the past, he thought about these rigid belief systems that he had as being the thing that kept him from getting to divine feminine, but he's realizing that his fears allowed for whatever would be attracted to that fear to help achieve an obstacle so that he could not get to divine feminine. That's what we do. That's how we create our reality. And when we see this card in the vice versa tarot, which I'm not using at this time in my current spreads, but I use it in the past, and it's two-sided. When you flip the Seven of Wands, the other side shows that there's no one actually on the battlefield. It's just you. And everyone's gone home, and you're still standing there, like still fighting. And so it's also about fighting off that illusion and understanding his role and how he's pushed back this commitment and these traditional things he's felt like he couldn't have. And then we have the Nine of Cups. So we've got wish fulfillment here. We have this idea that he can have what he desires, which is to be truthful, be honest, to swiftly and directly bring this honesty, bring this clarity to this union. He will get his wish, because when the Nine of Cups appears in a reading, whether it's upright or in its reverse, it is meant to indicate that you will get the thing that you wish for, that what you desire is coming true. The thing that can be confusing about the Nine of Cups when you see this and you're like, well, this is my wish and it didn't come true, is that your wish is for the essence of something. And that thing can only come to you when you're ready, when you're able to receive it. And it's going to come to you if you've asked for more. Then and you're focused on this one thing, but the divine's ready to give you more, you can't get this wish. It's just delayed. You're still going to get it, but it's delayed. So you have to surrender to the idea that you don't know what this is going to look like, what you've wished for. You don't know what it is going to be made up of. That's the whole thing that Divine Masculine has been working on, and Divine Feminine, is releasing this idea that you know, because of movies, books, songs, etc., what this love should be like. So that's that clarity. And he's basically getting this wish of seeing what it is that's been holding him back. We have the Eight of Cups. Following the Nine of Cups seems pretty regressive. And it's also clarifying this Four of Wands in reverse. So we're seeing that he realizes that when he walked away into separation, when he walked away from the sacred union, when he walked away from the twin flame journey in some cases, when he chose to leave behind these cups, it was a part of his wish fulfillment. It was part of the journey that was necessary for him to get what it is that he wants. He's had to go into this energy in order to fully realize his sacred union, which is with the divine feminine, right? Because this Nine of Cups is clarifying, this Ace of Swords and Nine of Cups is clarifying the Six of Cups and the Four of Wands. So this is his wish. And the positions in this reading are nutty. All right, it's going to be a long-ass reading. Divine Feminine, you're overthinking, but you've also got some crazy amounts of union that I can see without even seeing most of the cards from the heart space yet. And I think you also got 1,000 heart space cards. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 7. Okay. So overthinking, overfeeling, Divine Feminine. Let's go. Let's dig in. Let's see what's going on. We have the top of the deck, overall headspace for Divine Feminine. Ace of Wands, a singular desire, a very strong and powerful and passionate one, a heart-centered one, a sense of joy and excitement also, because there is this understanding that you do, when you ask, it is given. And there's this feeling of, well, I asked. And you have an assurance, like this calm assurance, that you're going to be given what you've asked for. And the niggling thing in the back of your mind is the Six of Cups, the union with divine masculine, the idea of coming back together, reuniting, experiencing this generosity and benevolence, sharing your cups, finally getting to see what's in them. This is your heart's desire, right? You're thinking constantly about what is in the back of your mind. This reunion energy. I don't know what to say about it. It's like it's got a lightness to it, so it doesn't have the kind of doubt and fear that's always associated with it. So I'm thinking that this processing of the full moon really helped you. And the song that came up for the Divine Feminine, first of all, we got Concerto Number 6 in B flat major by Bach, which is this really soothing, beautiful harpsichord piece. And that was very calming, and there was just such a lovely energy with that. And then we got Reckoner from Radiohead. You can take it with you, dancing for your pleasure. You are not to blame for bitter, sweet distractors. Dare not speak its name, dedicated to all you, all human beings, because we separate like ripples on a blank shore in rainbows. That song is so much about the sound. It's hard to convey with those lyrics exactly the feeling of that song, but it's like reverent. And there's that, because we separate like ripples on a blank shore, that illusion of separation. So divine feminine is kind of in this like transcendent energy, and it suits her. The first thing in her mind is the Three of Wands in reverse. So I would normally say this about impatience, and I'm sure there is some impatience here, but it's really more of a stronger feeling of it's time. And what is it time for? The Knight of Swords. It's time to look with clarity at the truth, at the new beginning that is possible as these two aspects of self reunite and start to work together, looking at what that really means for them. And look at this, because we got a song Reckoner from In Rainbows, which is because we separate like ripples in a blank shore in rainbows. What? How? Okay, anyway. It's time to see the divine masculine energy inside of self. Follow that strategy, because the Knight of Swords follows a plan of action, right? The Knight of Wands just passionate, finds out, oh, the princess is in distress, I must go to her, and rushes in. The Knight of Swords is like, all right, they've kidnapped the queen, and we need to form, like, we need to figure out exactly how to get these armies to surround her, and then I will follow this battle plan into the building. And there's honor and chivalry here, whereas the Knight of Wands is just sort of like, I mean, married, we can just be in the moment, babe. Right? So it's time for this energy, Divine Feminine's thinking. It's about time. It's about time to get what it is that I want. What is it that this energy would bring in? This truth, clarity, directness, swift moving energy. Also, I'm realizing I did not turn over the, oh my God. Okay. There was the 3 cards in the heart space I didn't turn over. 2 of Cups. And again, upright. And again, in the fountain deck imagery, with that beautiful imagery of this divine couple reaching for these cups together, which are in the cosmos, and understanding that the journey of coming together is one where so many synergistic things have to happen. So many things are cosmically intertwined to bring these two together. And this is what she wants to experience. She wants this divine masculine energy to pick up the speed, come in, be direct, be truthful, break bread with her, share these cups that they have that are now overflowing between the two of them, and be in physical union. Here in the 3D. What is the next card? The moon, which is mirroring divine masculine. And it's here for similar reasons. Obviously, divine masculine is wanting to reveal what is hidden. Divine feminine is impatient to see what is hidden being revealed. So this is the impatience that comes with this. It's about time to hear the truth and see what has been hidden. It is also about time, divine feminine, to go within, reveal the truth about what you have kept hidden from yourself. And I think that this is her headspace. She's like, because I have done this, because I have gone in within, seen what is there, looked at all of the spectrum that was in there, I am now able to manifest this physical union that will feel very good to me because my subconscious limiting beliefs have been explored. And I'm trusting in the 5D connection. I'm trusting in my psychic and intuitive abilities. I'm also moving and flowing with the energy of this moon, especially in divine feminine energy. We are ruled by the moon cycles. We are cyclic as the moon is. So, and that divine feminine energy is inside of you no matter what your gender is. So, yes, you are moving through your cycles too. I can tell you that right now. This energy she's comfortable in, but she's impatient for it now to start to become something that is here in reality. The reason why she feels like it's time to receive a Knight of Swords is because she is open to receiving a Knight of Cups. She is no longer feeling overwhelmed by this Knight of Cups energy where she's hearing the fears of divine masculine. It's like she can hear divine masculine express a fear he had or something about the relationship that wasn't his favorite, or some just any kind of fear or anxiety producing thing in divine feminine. He can be honest and clear with her and she doesn't lose her shit. She's open to receiving it. She might get a little pang of like, oh God, I hope he's still gonna love me, followed by, he loves you. Stop. He wouldn't tell you. He wouldn't be this open. He wouldn't be this vulnerable and tell you what he's scared of if he didn't love you. He would hide that from you. He wouldn't keep that from you. So when he's giving you this information, he is being vulnerable. She's also reassessing. She's taking that Knight of Swords energy in her own energy and reassessing the things she is hearing from the divine masculine aspects of self. When the divine masculine is like, I'm scared of this, she is looking at it now from his perspective as well and not having it be about her. Like if divine masculine gives her a truth and she's like, oh my God, this is about me. She's like, no, this is about him. This is about his truth. And I'm open to receiving all of his truth, no matter how overwhelming it may be for him or for me. And then we have the overthinking. 9 of Wands energy. Clarifying the 2 of Cups. So the healing that these two have been engaging in, these deep wounds, these inner wounds that have been being healed during this time of separation. This is bringing the realization of this 2 of Cups physical union where they can break bread together. But the silence that is happening right now, the grief from the wounds that have been caused, some of the, more difficult feelings that she's had to process through prayer, meditation, and also the enduring of the silence in regards to when and how this is going to happen. She's persevering against the silence, but it is really challenging her. Queen of Wands energy in its reverse. So she's really trying to control any sorts of passionate outbursts, fears that might make her suddenly, because of the silence, because there's been no word, she has not heard a word or very few words, or words that maybe aren't even divine masculine's words, just like whatever, don't have anything to do with her, just really perfunctory responses or no responses at all, complete silence while he's doing this healing. And in regards to this physical union, she really has to control her reactivity. She's working with that fear instead of letting it overcome her and make her act out, do crazy shit. She's just trying to be like, okay, he's doing his thing. I trust, I believe, I trust, I believe. And that's that Four of Swords energy too. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. It's 40 minutes now and I got to get going. Okay. Top of the deck overall, heart space for Divine Feminine. Ace of Wands, honey, head and heart in union. About what one desires. Passion, clarity, action, and a feeling that there is going to be a communication of some kind, a rather significant communication. And for Divine Feminine, we have the next thing, the niggling feeling, is the Eight of Wands. It's a coming, but it's a coming slowly. The momentum, the motion she felt, we've got a feeling of like, it's kind of slowed down a little bit. I can feel the imminence of this communication because it doesn't have to be here at all. I don't need to have the Eight of Wands be the niggling feeling. I could have had 77 other options, but it was this one. So, okay, here we go. Eight of Wands, messages here, they're coming. But the momentum is slowed. It's not coming as fast as maybe I expected it to, or whatever. That's the niggling feeling of the heart space. Two of Pentacles. Balancing the eternal dance between these two. She feels like it's time to make a choice. The World in union with Divine Masculine, to complete a cycle. It's time to choose to complete a cycle. And that is what's clarifying this Knight of Swords. So in order to complete the cycle, she is needing to be honest with herself. What do we see? We see her choosing honesty. We see her choosing to end the cycle of impatience that causes her to be reactive, that the fear, because in silence, there is no information except the information you're creating in your own head. And if you're in Nine of Swords energy, then the creation that you're coming up with, the storytelling that you're doing, is probably pretty fucking bad. So silence can be more difficult to endure than an argument, because in an argument, you've got information to work with. You can still tell stories about it, but there's words that are being said. So you can, read those words to other people and have them interpret them. Here, you're interpreting nothing but your own fears, reflecting back to you, whatever it is. This is the cycle that is ending. No more will my fears dictate. From now on, I will look at the facts. I will look at truth. I will listen to my heart as well, my own truth. King of Swords in reverse, clarifying Two of Cups. So releasing the shadow traits of the divine masculine, iciness, aloofness. There's been a divine masculine presence that is just really being cold AF. This that she's thinking about, this union coming together, this is what the silence is about, because we saw the Four of Swords in the clarification of this Two of Cups as well. So this divine masculine, he ain't saying nothing. Consequently, she feels Five of Pentacles energy. Lack energy, lack of communication, lack of physical presence, lack of, use your imagination. She feels lack. This is her fear. This is her anxiety. This is what she's uncomfortable with. This is what she's uncertain about. I'm uncertain about. Apparently she a queen. She's uncertain about this Five of Pentacles. Why? If I can sense divine masculine really wanting to come into this physical union, Two of Cups energy with me, and I want it, and he wants it, and I know that, why the fuck am I in the cold though? Why am I in the cold? Why am I in this uncertain place where I don't know exactly what is going on? Her heart space is feeling. And there's our King of Pentacles. And he's clarifying this Knight of Cups. So her heart is like, trust me. Trust me. This specific manifestation that you are after, this person, thing, job, revelation, whatever it is that you are after, trust me, please. Trust me. Trust the divine masculine part of self. Trust that silence is strategic, because the King of Swords is strategic. Trust in the strategy. Trust that it plays a role in bringing you out of the cold. We see that it does. It's part of divine masculine's healing. Let him heal. And you're doing that in your head. You're like, okay, I'm going to let us heal. I'm controlling that Queen of Wands energy so I don't act like a fool out here with my proverbial dick hanging out. Like, her heart space is begging her to trust that she's open to receive a specific manifestation that is going to be amazing. And these last two cards in her heart space, I just want to throw them out the window and just see them float in space, because what is happening? The two tens we saw for divine masculine. We saw the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Pentacles in its reverse. For divine feminine, we have the 10 of Swords upright and the 10 of Cups in reverse. And the World. So we've got completion here. We've got the end of separation, the end of these cycles. We've got some things going on, but let's talk a little bit more about the clarification of these last two overfeeling cards that are clarifying the overthinking that's happening in the headspace. We have a divine feminine who is trusting in this King of Pentacles energy that the specific incarnation is going to end separation, that 10, that painful separation that they've gone through. It's also her heart space reflecting on the pain that has been endured that they are healing from in that 9 of Wands energy. This pain, this of what has happened, of what they've done to each other through their own thoughts, through their own fears, worries, and anxieties. They've pinned each other down, made it impossible to move. And she's feeling how much they've had to heal in order to end the separation. And the silence that she's enduring and trying not to be reactive to, she's trying to really trust in her heart space that this spiritual fulfillment that she's after is here. It's present. It's it's just right out of reach. Like it's almost there. But she's understanding how her fear about receiving this 10 of Cups is why she is called to endure this silence. She has to be in silence and still believe. If she can endure, not react, which pushes back, which keeps her from attaining this spiritual fulfillment, because it's meaning she's not trusting that she's enough for herself, and she's still seeking it outside of herself. She's still looking for the divine masculine to fill her cup. If she's going into this crazy fear, right? So they are really releasing those last fears. And it's tough. It's tough stuff. All right, let's look at why is my phone restarting? Weird. Okay, my phone's restarting. I have no idea why. Maybe it finally installed the update that I'm avoiding. Okay. You all got, I think you got reasonable amounts of oracles today. So it's like you're doing well. And I mean, it is like you're doing well. Like it's like you're doing really well. So I'm proud. I had a conversation last night with one of my friends who I do like daily work with. And it's like a mutual support. It's not really me as a coach. It's just kind of like we are just like we're like a group therapy type of thing. We work on Lacey Phillips' Unblocked Love, Unblocked Money, all that kind of stuff. And last night we were just like, are we at a point now where we are like maybe always looking to be broken so we have something to fix? And like maybe we should stop trying to fix things. And I have a sense here that we're kind of at a stage in the collective where, I mean, obviously there's always healing going on, but we're at a stage now where it's like, wait, no, I have some of these skills now that, so I'm not experiencing the same level of bullshit that I was experiencing in the past. So I'm kind of getting it, I think. And like maybe I just need to like break from trying to figure out what's wrong with me and fix it. And maybe start to be like, wait, there's nothing wrong with me. As long as I tune into my intuition and pay attention to the messages I'm receiving, I'm good. I'm good. And like if something really cuckoo banana starts happening and I feel myself spiraling, well, I know just what to do. So like maybe I'm okay. Like maybe I'm ready. Maybe I'm actually ready. Maybe I've completed these cycles, and maybe I now am just in a position where I'm teaching and I'm not necessarily having to fix myself every second. Like get into a space where that's okay. Divine masculine, you are in the light traits of the Fool, and I love you in this energy because you're funny. You're a funny one. Fearlessly revealing emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. And you're fearlessly revealing emotion, right? This is fearlessly revealing emotion. This is sitting at like in Niagara Falls. I don't know if y'all have ever been there, but that shit is impressive. Like you're just like, it's a waterfall, whatever. I've seen a waterfall. And then you get there and you're like, oh, this ain't just a waterfall. Like this is something otherworldly. Like I've never experienced. The thundering sound, the power of this water is just, that in and of itself is incredible. The amount of water is incredible. You're just like, is this all the water in the world right now? You know, and then thinking like, no, it's not even a tiny fraction of it. How tiny am I? That's how Niagara Falls makes you feel. Overwhelmed as fuck. But this Knight of Cups is meditating. His ass is meditating on the top of the waterfall. He can handle it. He is fearlessly revealing these emotions, even if he knows that the emotions that he have might overwhelm divine feminine. He's like, listen, I don't care. She's overwhelming me all the damn time. I'm gonna overwhelm her for a change. Come on. And to emphasize that, here's Saint Dymphna in an emphasized reversal with emotions, right? Fearlessly revealing these emotions. Don't worry about it. She got you, okay? Saint Dymphna's got your back. She's helping you navigate these emotions. The divine feminine energy that's integrated inside of yourself she's helping you understand and supporting you through that, so that it's not the divine feminine that you have projected outside of yourself's responsibility to process your emotions, but yours. And then as you process them, you don't take them out on her. You have processed them. And so Saint Dymphna is here to support you in that. And you can call on her if you feel like you're in a position where you might be putting too much responsibility on your other side of self to compensate for emotions or discomfort with emotions or fears that come up with the emotions. You can call on Saint Dymphna to help you. You can just say a saint's name and they will be there. You don't have to know the fancy Catholic prayers from the little prayer cards. Those are just to help you remember to pray to those saints. They're not, there are ways to bring solemnity and ritual to interactions with divine energy for sure. And I highly recommend them because they center you and ground you when you repeat things over and over again, and they build that connection. So repetition in prayer in mantra is a significant interaction with an entity. But if you are in a place where you want to work with an entity and you don't have access to, or you can just say their name and you'll be led to an interaction with them that will be beneficial to you. So when you're feeling overwhelmed like that, Saint Dymphna is here to support you in this fearless revelation that you're about to bring. My uncontrolled thoughts are not to be feared. Like, how could I freaking pull these cards? Like, this is literally the same thing. My uncontrolled thoughts, like, that come from these emotions that you're having, that are generating emotions and percolating from the emotions you're having, whatever. There is no reason to worry about your thoughts, for they are not like a loaded gun that may wreak powerful and instantaneous destruction. For you have plenty of time, as soon as you become aware of any negative feelings, to begin to choose other less resistant thoughts and thereby choose a more desired outcome. What happens when we start this journey in manifestation is that we start to think that whatever we think is going to come true instantly. And it's funny because we've been thinking we wanted a specific person for literally years in some cases, and they're still not here. So why the fuck would this bad thing you thought just now happen suddenly? There does seem to be a strange phenomenon whereby if you think about bad things, they seem to happen faster. But it's because of negativity bias that's built into our brain for us to continue to think thoughts and feed detail into things that are negative. We're constantly taught to do that as a means of protecting ourselves. So we actually can build a lot more negative momentum. Also, the people around us are programmed to support us in negativity bias too. So if we express our fears, they have fears, they reflect them back to us. That feeds our fear, etc., etc. So it does kind of seem like there's more emotion sometimes in that direction. It is a little bit harder to hold the space for something that you desire because the fears have to be worked through, but it's a lot easier to get something that you don't desire because the fears support you not getting it, or so they'll support the opposite. We emphasize our fears so much more. So there is no real reason to worry when you start to learn about this information. You're like, oh God, I just thought a bad thought. It's like, no, don't worry. It's like if you start to feel bad, fear, really like the hot flashes of fear that come over you when you have a thought about something, it's because you started to trigger a little bit more detail into that thought than is good for you. And your body is giving you a warning signal like, whoa, hey, caution, like there's a big, massive, wild animal in your brain right now about ready to tear your ass down. Like, are you going to take that? And like, maybe you lay down and play dead. Maybe you freeze and you don't know what to do. Maybe you fight back, whatever, right? Like, but there is a big lurking fear suddenly. It's your opportunity when you feel that feeling to be like, ooh, what am I thinking about? Okay, well, I get it. Either I got to stop thinking about that completely. So I'm going to do something completely different. Even if that thing is a tool that seems like a bad habit, I'm going to do that because I want to be safe from this right now. And I don't want this to, put me into another spiraling thing where I lose all my ground, whatever. Okay. So you're just like, I'm going to think about something completely different. Maybe you can't though, but maybe you can come up with one little feeling that makes you feel just a tiny bit better and halt the momentum. There's time for you to go through that process. You don't have to worry. A win-win outcome is forecast. So your concerns about certain people experiencing losses as you go to claim your victory, this is not an accurate fear. You are going to, in winning yourself, you are going to create a win for the others in your life. Here's your priestess energy. How are you being called to step up and lead? And this is trusting in your intuition. I was going to get my phone to read this next card. That's kind of funny. Trusting in your intuition right now is really important. You are receiving calls about how to step up and lead, and you need to listen to them. So you need to pay attention to the messages that you're getting from all of the different sources of messages in your life, and really go within and figure out, what do I need to do to step up? How do I need to step up into my power? I know for me, for my divine masculine energy, in terms of like really creating this record that I want to create, I need to treat it like with the reverence and respect and commitment that I would like to be treated with by a divine masculine energy. Like, I need to just go get down on one knee to my record and be like, baby, I love you. I've been thinking about you for so many years. I have always been so devoted to you. I have literally made huge sacrifices in my life to be with you. And you didn't even know. You didn't even know what I've done to try to bring you to life so that other people can see and hear and experience the beauty that is within you, my record, that I love you so much. And so I'm going to get down on this one knee to you record, and I'm going to give you this ring, and I'm going to ask you, will you please unite with me so that I can bring you out into this world as my one and only true record that I've loved for all time, and share you with the world and be mine forever. And then I need to be like, yes, I will do that. And then I need to be committed to the divine masculine energy that has made me this offer, and allow the divine masculine energy to lead me on that journey whereby I can realize this record that I want. I've just been waiting for myself to commit to myself to do it. I keep making notes about it. I keep fantasizing about it. I put one track out. Okay, then great. Finish it. Get it done. As I start to engage in that behavior for myself, I will see a physical manifestation in relationships. I will see a physical manifestation in terms of abundance. I will see a physical manifestation in every single aspect of my life, because it's going to match the energy I'm putting into myself. Okay, antelope spirit. Life is speeding up, divine masculine. When antelope spirit rushes into your life, you are being reminded of the quickening of your personal evolution as a powerful co-creator. You are being told unequivocally that it is time to get moving, set your intentions, and take action toward making your dreams real. There is an intensity you can feel, and it is important to take advantage of this energy right now. If you have a plan, Jesus Christ, if you have a plan for your career or financial abundance, what did I fucking say about the plans I have written down in this fucking notebook? If you have a plan for your career or financial abundance, now is the time to step up and lead, bitch. Literally, now is the time to step up. If you're asking about a relationship, make that first move. Just know that the intentions you have set in motion are coming together now at warp speed. Stay alert and keep up. Things are getting interesting when antelope spirit calls you to move quickly. I see you, Julie. What the hell? This reading is insanity. Okay, divine feminine. It's also taking so long. Here we go. You are in the light traits of the femme fatale, baby. You're sexy as fuck right now, okay? You are highlighting the erotic energy of the feminine, opening your heart when your dependency is rejected. Wow. So, despite having issues and fears of rejection. You are opening your heart up. You are calling on that true divine feminine sexual energy, that kundalini energy that is in there, and you are very attractive at this point. And divine masculine can feel it. You are opening your heart when your dependency is rejected. You found it. You found it. You found the solution. You figured it out. You figured it out. You're like, oh, if I do this and this happens, and if this happens, then that happens, and then this and that. Yep, you found it. You know now. You've got the formula. You understand if you consistently do this work, if you consistently balance the energy, if you consistently go within and find the source of what it is that's causing you to do the crazy shit that you do that you don't understand, and address that need, whatever that need is. I need to look constantly to see if somebody is texting me back because I don't believe that they love me. Oh, I don't believe I'm lovable. My bad. I need to go kind of dig that out. Or like, I need attention from this person because when I was growing up, I had 10 siblings and nobody paid attention to me. So I must see that they're paying attention to me. Oh, I need to pay attention. I need to give attention to myself. I need to plan a date with somebody, one of my friends, and have time where it's just me and my friend and I'm with them alone. I need to give myself the feelings I'm trying to get from this other person whose responsibility is to themselves, not to me. Why does my saying no to it mean saying yes to it? When you give attention to something you desire and say yes to it, you are including it in your vibration. But when you look at something you do not want and say no to it, you are including it in your vibration. You cannot exclude anything that you're giving your attention to. Therefore, this is what I'm always saying. This is that Abraham Hicks information, which is, I really want to be with my person, but I'm terrified of them. Okay, well, that means that you're going like this. I really want to be with my bud. I'm terrified of them. But I really want to, but I'm so scared. But I really, really, really want to be with them. I'm fucking so scared. Because you're giving attention to both sides. Nothing is happening. You're saying yes to something you want while at the same time saying, I don't deserve it. I can't handle it if I get it. It's not going to be what I think it is. It's going to bite me in the ass. I don't trust it. People are terrible. Whatever your fear is, you're saying yes to the fear and to the desire at the same time. And the divine is like, she go, I don't know, just like keep her in the same cycle. She just keeps asking for the same thing, but she's also asking me not to give it to her. She's afraid of it. And it's just, I don't know what to do. Like that is what your divine is doing inside. Like, Jesus Christ, just believe and don't be afraid. Like you can have it. Like I gave you all these guardians. There's like Saint Michael, the Archangel King. You just call on one of them. Just help them with your fear. Come on, you can do it, right? Take a deep breath because a new start is coming. A new start because you have this information now, because you found it, because you know this, then this means that a completely new start is happening. Are you going to have the same relationship with people in your life tomorrow that you had today based on this reading alone? I mean, I got enough information from this reading that I'm like, well, I'll never do that again. So like, you are not alone. Your ancestors stand beside you right now. Your ancestors stand beside you. Remember, this is a legacy. So you have a whole bunch of spirit that's invested in you figuring this out. And they're all with you and they're all supporting you at this point and believing in you and wanting you so much to be successful in this endeavor. So just trust in that energy that's around you. You're healing these wounds from generations. You're getting to do the things that they wanted to do. I have a friend who's a medium, and she said one of the things that she hears frequently from the spirits that she communicates with is when they have regrets, which regrets feel different from those that have passed. But when they say there's anything they quote unquote regret, it's that they didn't truly live when they were physical, that they weren't really present and in the physical, in the bad and the good and everything, that they wanted to escape from it. and they wish that they really would have had much more of a physical experience than they allowed themselves. It's such an interesting perspective. Swan spirit is back, but not the protection message today. We're getting time for a deep dive, the oracle message for divine feminine. And this is, with their graceful long necks, swans are able to reach into the depths. When swan arrives, you are called to take a deep dive beyond what is easily available on the surface. You may think you know what is best for you now, but take the plunge into the depths of your awareness, for there is knowledge you are not aware of and great treasures to discover. Deeper understanding awaits you, and a perspective that comes from greater self knowledge is what you need right now to better understand a situation or relationship. As you come to know yourself more intimately, so too will you come to better know others. So, Swan Spirit asks you to go beyond the surface of what is happening between you and others and resist the temptation to judge by superficial appearances. No, there is much deeper potential for loving connections, forgiveness, and mutual understanding. Choose to dive deep into your why, asking the deeper questions of yourself. You are led by the grace of swan spirits. There's your animal, Julie. Yes. So choosing to dive deep into your why. I really like how that is phrased. Um, because going to the heart of your why will bring it what you want to you faster than anything, because it helps you get into joy and appreciation and excitement. And it's because you're not thinking about how you could possibly do it and about the limitations that are surrounding it. You're starting to attract the energy of that thing that you want. Also, going deeply into the why, like I just said about those communications, when you're like, oh, I'm obsessed with finding out what my divine masculine is thinking or doing, or my divine feminine is thinking or doing. What you are doing is you're seeking something, you're seeking to receive something. So you have to go deeply and ask the questions I asked before. Do I need this because I need attention? How can I give myself attention? Do I need this because I need a sense of security? How can I make myself feel secure? Do I need this because I want to feel seen? How can I feel seen right now? What can I do to be seen or to be heard? Dive deeply into the why that you feel this need for this union to happen right now. Why do you need this physical union right now? Do you need to be touched? Do you need physical affection? Is there a way you can give that to yourself? I've got that covered. I'm good there. But like, I might want a dog too. Like, because you have to find ways to be giving yourself the things you're lacking, and the desperation you feel for someone else to give it to you is a fear that you're not going to get it. But you can always get it. You are the source of it. Divine couple, you're both in the light attributes of the Avenger energy. There's a world map here too. This is a travel card for me when this comes up. And you are really in this place where you desire to balance the scales of justice and righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. So both of you are feeling like you want to avenge this, kind of like each other. You want to balance the scales between you. And then St. Catherine of Alexandria, marriage, sacred union, Hierophant energy, divine masculine. We already had sacred union, Hierophant energy all over your side. 2 Four of Wands cards and the Hierophant. I'll just leave that there. This is definitely, though, about that sacred union and calling on St. Catherine to support you in this journey as you seek to become one with someone and become partnered and share your life, or you seek to become one with that physical manifestation that you're trying to achieve. Prosperity lies ahead. This keeps coming out for you because you keep needing this reassurance, but prosperity lies ahead. And then, how can you mother yourself? This is always coming up for you. Most of the needs that you have when you're seeking fulfillment in someone else tend to have to do with this energy: affection, nurturing, support, protection. You're after this kind of, it's usually about these wounds that you feel you can't have it. You have to really get this divine mother energy all in alignment in yourself to really be a nurturer and receive nurturing. And you start by mothering yourself. So today, just really make a point of doing things for yourself that like a loving mother would do. And if you don't have a role model of that, make that up in your head. What do you think you would have enjoyed your mother to do? Make you food, tuck you in at night, ask you about your dreams, ideas, passions, talk to you about boys you're interested in, talk to you about girls you wanted to date, talk to you about your sexuality and how to be healthy, and all of the things that you really would need from a really healthy mothering figure. You need to be doing these things for yourself. Badger spirit. Be fearless and bold. This Colette Baron Reed deck, the spirit animal oracle that I'm learning, is just the greatest. Okay. Oracle message from her today is Badger spirit rejoices at your persistence and commitment to what is true for you. Whatever you seek, your tenacity and faith in your partnership with spirit is paying off, and the results will soon coalesce into form in your world. The gift of Badger spirit is the surety that taking a risk now and being courageous, fearless, and bold will yield wondrous results. This is a time to harness your will and apply it consistently to the pursuit of your dreams. Know that no matter the temporary outer conditions, you will manifest your desires in divine timing and in the form that spirit deems best for you. Badger spirit says you have what it takes to get what you want, so assert yourself. Be fearless and be bold, shining your light as your purpose calls you into the world. New relationships are also given a green light right now. Don't be afraid to make the first move. Badger spirit loves your brave and mighty heart. Hufflepuff House. Love that. Badger Spirit. Also, Emily was here earlier. And that's her spirit animal. All right, we're here at the end of the reading finally after an hour and 16 minutes. It's also about to become 11:11 a.m. just in a moment. We have here the Lady of the Lake. This is our goddess, which we will close the reading with. We are working to balance divine feminine energy in the world because the divine feminine has been oppressed inside of everyone, regardless of gender. So, as a tribute to the goddess, as a way to integrate goddess energy in balance to the God energy that we've been in worship of for so long, you can do this practice where you put two hands over your heart, and for 15 minutes, you say the mantra, My heart is the heart of the goddess. You can focus on any divine feminine energy that fits you and your modality. For instance, sometimes I use Mary because I come from the Catholic tradition, but I also will visualize other divine feminine, and sometimes I just let it be something that is amorphous and not definable. But I like to close with all these different goddesses from different traditions and belief systems to honor the divine feminine as she has appeared throughout time in all of these forms and how we have looked at her and communicated with her. So this is the Lady of the Lake. She's back today, and I'm not surprised because the Ace of Swords was here. And whenever I see that Ace of Swords, I think of that Excalibur story. So, as in many traditions in which a goddess bestows kingship, the Lady of the Lake, a mysterious Celtic goddess, gave King Arthur the sword Excalibur and thus established his power and his right to be king. Before he died, Arthur restored the sword to her, and it now remains with her beneath the waters of the deep. Water, the source of all life, has long been the domain of the goddess. Lakes represent both the source of creative power and the land of the dead, life-giving and death or renewal being the two main functions of the goddess. Water indicates both consciousness and revelation. The Lady of the Lake is a guide to the mysterious realms of emotion and renewal, a source of immense creativity. She can give us the energy we need to rule our lives. So that's a significant energy. I hope that you got a lot of light out of this reading, enlightenment, that the messages rang true for you. Remember to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. This is a general reading. If you need a personal reading, you can contact me at tunedintarot@gmail.com and we will work out something that works best for you and me. And I finished the Lovers playlist. It has been documented. All of the results are in. I think we have, once I add the last two songs, 44 Don't you love that, Kylie? Because I know you're watching. 44 songs. This is the longest playlist I've ever had when I've run the Major Arcana playlist challenge. So I'm excited that that many people participated, and I wish you all luck. There will be at least 2 winners. Sometimes I end up doing more, depends on how things go, but definitely 2 winners for a free hour-long reading with me, Pearl. That looks like what I do here, except it's specific to your questions and your energy. So it will hopefully be more personally helpful to you. So thank you to everyone who has participated in that challenge, and stay tuned. Basically, I will shuffle to the music from that playlist. So one of my morning readings, probably next week, will be me shuffling to that playlist. I'll tell you what songs came up, and then it will just be a normal reading, a general reading. There will probably be messages for the person who chose the songs in that general reading because the songs themselves were selected by Spirit. But then those 2 people who win will also receive a free personalized reading after that, to be scheduled at their time, or they can give it away to someone else if you want to be generous and give a gift to somebody. It is up to you. So please like, subscribe, share, click on the notification bell so that you know when I'm going live. Follow me on Instagram, Tuned in Tarot. There you can participate in future song challenges to win readings. You can also see when I'm going live because I do a time-lapsed shuffle with, if Instagram has them, the songs that played during the shuffle. Sometimes Instagram doesn't have some of the songs, but I try to put them up so you know what's coming. You can listen to the messages before I go live. And then I usually go live within 5 to 10 minutes after posting that on Instagram. I think that has covered everything. Have a lovely day today. Take care. Balance your energy. Let yourself feel like you're not broken and maybe you're fixed. Like, kind of feel that for a minute. And take care, everybody.